SA Philly service announcement. Takeover Tuesday. Takeover love, support, great social activism, resources, and art. I am the assist. African support and strength, inspiration, and success together. Shout out to those two queens right there. Carlita, Nick, when you coming back to I gotta come to your crib. I know I done said this, but I'm coming. I'm coming to the crib because this is not okay. But Nick, Raw, Cannon, shout out to all the Cannons. Shout out to my brother Mile, Stan, Maj. Happy birthday to my man Mill, bro. 21. We can go back to the casino. Now they can't tell us, you know what I mean? He was like 4 months short the last time we went to the casino and they played dirty with my man. It's terrible. But we back now because he's 21 now. You know what I'm saying? But it's a beautiful thing because I've known Mill for about like 3 years, going on 3 years now. And that's real dope to me. Good little brother. A lot of the things, that I try to impart on a lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying? In particular, younger brothers, like he definitely gravitates, and he already had a foundation, you know what I'm saying? His dad is in his life, his mom, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, he already had a foundation, but how I like to say, two and a possible, all that type of stuff. You know what I mean? It's still a village. There's always some things that I might not know that my brother know that he can impart on you, better. But yeah, shout out to Mel, you know what I'm saying? Happy birthday. Heavy transition out here in these streets, you know what I'm saying? We doing a lot of things. The healing station, make sure 1621 West Master, you know what I mean? We doing all those restorative justice circles, all types, parenting, girls, boys, intergenerational, you know what I'm saying? Healing, grief, justice, whatever you want to get into, you know what I'm saying? I'm a firm believer in restorative justice. We certify and we are active facilitators out here in these streets. Shout out to my brother Yas. You know what I mean? We definitely going to do a couple things together. Make sure you tap into the young lady from UPenn for me, Yas. And I appreciated coming to that in death by incarceration event in Wilmington, Delaware on Saturday. I thought it was done extremely well as far as they let the brothers speak from inside. They had a lot of recordings of brothers, had their pictures up on the teleprompter, and as a brother went through his reasoning for why they need to end death by incarceration. I'm a firm believer, forget all of that, geriatric parole. It needs is all strategies. I'm not saying these things are wrong, but let's get straight down to it and just we need to let folks out, man. I know all these different things are strategies that we going about. That's how we got to work with the system, and we can't just necessarily just topple the joint over and let folks out. So we do got to do those. But let's be very clear about the fact that everybody need to be let out. And I'm going to tell you why everybody need to let out. Somebody was explaining to me it was different reasons around why the juvenile lifers were let out. And it goes to a lot of different levels as far as, dudes still being on parole and stuff like that. And that's wild to me, too. If you're going to let somebody just did 30 years, why are you still trying to have them on parole? That's just a wild thing, but that's a side thing. So if the fact that your frontal lobe doesn't fully develop until 25 is one of the leading sciences behind, and we can get into a lot of technical law stuff, where you kind of, the premise or the thing that starts it is the science. And then we got to play with the law around it, because that's really what they're going to do. They're going to play with the law around it. So they'll write the law in a certain way so that the science won't be the central thing of why you're being released. But the science is what starts the argument or starts the conversation or starts the precedent. And the precedent, as far as I remember, and somebody can always correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember a young woman, she was 21, 22 years old. She was from Connecticut. She had committed a homicide, and her family had the resources to bring in specialists. And one of the specialists was a neurologist, I think, if I'm not mistaken. A psychologist, neurologist, probably a little bit of both, one or the other. But they came as a special witness, and they explained how the frontal lobe does not fully develop until 25. And because of that, up until 25, your risk reward is highly questionable. How you calculate risk is extremely questionable at 10, at 12, at 15. And they saying science has shown up until 25. So with that being said, and that even being a part of the law or the precedent that was set to let these brothers, then that means everybody who has ever committed a crime, because that's very questionable too. What the fuck is crime? You know, we can start dissecting that. What is crime in a capitalist society? You know, what is harm in a capitalist society actually? Because in a capitalist society, everything can be monetized. So because of that, anything that you do, people can make money off of it. Anything, you could be famous for anything in a capitalist society. So that in and of itself, you can monetize anything. It could be the worst thing. Like I remember when the Bill Cosby shit was out, like it really was motherfucking white women getting up there lying about being raped. And it was people in there lying about being raped just so they can get some media attention. Y'all seen the interviews. So don't try to drown that part out with the fact that some of the people were telling the truth. However many people, it doesn't even matter if it was 1 or if it was 10 and he did it forcibly. It is what it is. But why would people think that it would be okay to come and be lying about stuff like that just to be seen? That's a problem in it. But being seen means some level of notoriety, and notoriety can be marketed. You can do commercials, even locally. If you're just doing local commercials for the local car dealership, because you have some level of notoriety for whatever reason. So you could get notoriety literally for anything. Instagram shows you that. Social media shows you that. People do the dumbest shit on loop until people catch on to it or don't catch on, or however it happens. So a lot of what we're dealing with is like, yo, you can get famous for anything. So that's a problem. That's a problem in the way that we move and deal with any and everything in this society. Everything is questionable. To me, every system that we work for feeds the system. So we all, like I tell people all the time, we all got blood on our hands. Now, once you get the resources, what do you do with it? Because if I pay taxes to a system that I say I know historically has been horrible, and that's a good word. That's not the worst word that I could use on how black people literally have been treated in America. But they have got us to a point where we're all buying into our own destruction, our own exploitation, our own extermination. Like I was watching a show and I was going to participate on the show, but I like how the language was on the show. I wasn't feeling that. I did try to chime in at one point. It didn't get acknowledged. I guess they was like in the middle of their point. But then as I listened to it more, I was like, I don't really want. But what I did, because you can always learn stuff, I didn't know that they had opened up the juvenile facility on Greaterford's old land yet. And as far as I understand, it's open. They have a juvenile facility to send these children. So that the $4 million upgrade facility won't be overcrowded no more. They can send you to the ghost of the old men's penitentiary. Because that's what we getting you lined up for anyway. To go to the big boy jail. That's all juvenile detention is for, bro. To get you ready to go to the big boy jail. The penitentiary. To go to the pen. Prison. All this good weird ass shit they call slavery. Get you ready, your young slave detention. Get it together, adjudication, from adjudication to conviction. That's where you're going. They're going to get you ready for that living like they do us. So I'm against that 100%. So shout out to CNC. I am a board member of Care Not Control. This is a movement that's about the abolishment of juvenile prison. I'm for the abolishment of all prison, I did 20 years. I have expert testimony on why this should be ended. You know what I mean? I have expert testimony. I am an expert. I am actually a scholar at this shit. You know what I'm saying? I lived my study too. You know how people do their research? You ain't live that shit like I live that shit. I asked thousands of men questions, black men, about what it is to be black. And sometimes I ask them just that. Like, what do you think about being black? Does it matter to you? Do you consider yourself black, African? Do you have identity? I've asked men that straight direct, like, what's up? What are we doing here? Where are we at with this shit? You know what I'm saying? So I really am an expert on this shit. Because those are the questions that I ask repeatedly. And then I learned a lot about the system. Like I said, like I actively was learning about the very system that I was in from every level. Historically, all the good statistics, what it do to you psychologically, The medical aspect of it. What do it do to a man being in locked up this amount of time? What can it do to his psyche? What can it do to his emotional capacity and intellect, wherewithal? You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of different things. And I asked brothers and I watched them. And then one of the most profound things that I always tell the story is about the Father's Day card thing. That was like a really, really deep thing for me to stand at the door and see these cards everywhere in the trash. Nobody wanted them. They had no value. And it told me everything about who I am as a black man and what's going on with black men, especially as it pertains to the black men that keep coming in and out of these doors, the prison doors, the slave, coming back and forth to the plan. Especially when you hear black men talk as if like jail is this addiction that they can't break. Like, I just got to stop going back to jail. Like, you got to stop smoking crack? Like, is it the same thing? Is it? I don't know. And then it was like, all right, jail is not the thing that's drawing you back. It's whatever you're doing to go to jail. So it's that thing like, man, I can't stop selling crack. Why you smoke crack nowhere? Why you still trying to sell it? It's like, because I be hearing these dudes talk about selling crack in their rhymes, and I be thinking like, all right, I mean, it just sounds like some cool street shit to say at this point, because I don't see nobody really making no real bread off of no crack, if at all, bro. And it used to be funny being in jail and watching niggas come to jail. Like, the crime is faddish. You know what I mean? Like, what niggas come to jail for is faddish. So it'd be like, or one in the 90s, we all coming to jail for fucking for drugs and shit. And then you see these niggas start coming. You see a lot of like robbery boys coming. But then you start seeing, because the drug money like drying up, and there's few dudes to rob. So now it's a few dudes getting money. So then the lineup culture became a thing. Niggas putting GPSs on people's cars. But it's not that many dudes eating like that for that to become a real hustle for a bunch of robbery boys. Because it's a lot of work that comes with the cats who actually are making 6 figures or better, where you could actually get a 6-figure lick. And that was the funny thing to me. Young boys would come to jail every time. Everybody got 6 figures, because it was like, it's 6, 7 dudes on the case. So any money that looked less than that, you already know, you sit here talking to a motherfucker like me, it's like, I'm going to instantly do the math and be like, y'all all doing 12 to 25 years for $1,000 a piece. So they gotta lie to you and be like, no, it was a 6-figure. Bro, niggas is not even eating like that on the streets. And you niggas in particular, I'm listening to you talk. You're not lying in any nigga that's smart enough to steal, because it does take a certain level of smarts to move up in drug activity and get money at a 6-figure level. That's not a happenstance. A nigga, even the aggressive niggas can't brody that type of money. It's a certain amount of finesse that come with making money in the streets too. You gotta have guns, you gotta have heart, but then with drugs, you don't necessarily have heart. If you gotta have heart, if you can politic good enough and you can organize niggas and you can get niggas to do XYZ, which is smart, you can organize some shit to get some money. It's not a whole lot of them dudes. And them dudes have a certain level of smarts. So you, little nigga, sitting in front of me talking about y'all laying in somebody's crib or y'all line somebody up for 6 figures, it's not believable, because you're not smart enough to think on that level to even rob a nigga that had to be smart enough to get to the level for you to take 6 figures from him. Especially in this day and age. Now, early on, you might have get a couple licks because the money was really coming like that. In the early 90s, crack was really ridiculous with the amount of money that you can make. Now, none of us knew what to do with it, so it's nothing left. But it really was ridiculous with the amount of money that motherfuckers can make. And I'm talking about regular, like, rank and file dudes. Like, I knew dudes who hustled part-time, like they worked, came out, hustled after work for a couple hours, and then went home. I knew a couple dudes like that, and they was eating nice. Like, they was living really, really comfortable, whatever their 9 to 5 was. And then I knew dudes that were just like a couple ounce balls. Like, you got to connect that you fuck with is safe. You over here, you got a little drug block. There's a couple people in your apartment building that smoke crack. A lot of that different stuff happened when dudes was able to get some nice money. But for the most part, for you to be able to line this nigga up to get 6 figures, like, nah, bro. This shit take a little bit more, and you niggas don't think on that level. You a corner robbery. You ain't planning nothing for real. You don't even got the patience. Most of these dudes don't even got the patience to case a dude out like that, to get real money from somebody. Because if I got real money, I got real security too. Because I know I got real money. So niggas would come to jail and try to tell you these fantastical stories, and then, you know, most dudes is not critical thinkers. You know, so you sit here talking to me, and I'm like, this shit is a lie. But it was faddish. Like, it was crack. Even the drugs. I remember, like, coming to jail when the drug era, a lot of boys, you know, pills and syrup was a thing before they started talking about sipping on syrup, and we just gravitated to some southern shit like it was something that we didn't already do in Philadelphia. Not saying it's something to be proud about getting high off of syrup, but I'm just saying that's how crazy the music is, and then culture and influence. Like, when Jay was like, put a button up on, I was like, I've been wearing button up low shirts since I was like 11, 12. Why the fuck is we so hype about button? I was in jail at the time, so I'm looking at this shit and I'm shocked by it. Like, this how we already dress. Why is they so hype off of this nigga? But you know, culture and influence. It goes back to that thing about fame and what fame can do, and the influence, and how money can come from it, and what you can get people to do. But the shit in jail was faddish, where it was like, drug dealer niggas, we smoke weed, we pop pills, we did syrup. Then you had, once the drugs was going out, you had the wet era came, and the pill era got more heavy. Because I remember my block, everybody was telling me that my block turned into a pill block around like 2000 to like 05, 2000 to 05. So niggas was on the pill shit. Niggas started smoking wet. I'm seeing more niggas coming to jail for wet, waking up. You know, you done killed shit. You done told on everybody because you was wetted out your mind. Then the fucking lineup robberies was going on. Everybody was talking about they was lining niggas up to get money. Then the B&Es became a thing. Everybody running in people's houses and all this old crazy shit. Burglaries is going on. Like, this was the thing. And it was wet. And then we had the whole Molly. Everybody talking about E-bombs and all this weird. But I'm listening to all of this shit in the music. And it's funny because as dudes is coming to jail, I'm seeing this what they on. They on the same shit the music saying. Even the crimes that they doing. Like, I'm like, damn, nigga, go do some white collar shit. Play with credit cards or checks or some. You get more money. You get more bang for your buck. And the jail time is way less. It's way less. Like, figure that. But then those white collar crimes take a certain level of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? It do. I mean, I know you can bust a check. Yeah. But people who do that on a level, they know how to talk to the bank folks. It's a certain level of intelligence that comes. Anybody, that's why a lot of dudes always get women to do these things, go in these banks, because women are already used to dealing like this day to day. You know what I'm saying? Like, they taking care of children, they messing with checks and whatnot. They ain't got to be the smartest chick on, but they know how to do this. They know how to be a woman in the space, be a mom in the space. That would throw them off. You know, I got to hurry up and get this check cash because I got to do XYZ for the baby. That'll throw somebody right off. And don't have the baby with you. You know what I'm saying? Nigga just stand and give you the check like, huh? And just be looking at you. Like, where the fuck you get this check from? Get out of here. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man. It just was funny how prison was unfolding, you know what I'm saying? And seeing culturally, like, culture change on the streets and seeing those people come to the prison. And then it was just even funnier to me to, like, listen to stuff in music. And this is how the people who are coming to the prison at that time are conducting themselves. They using that slang. They're into those things. And I'm listening and I'm like, damn, that's crazy how they just got our life running on loop off of the music. Whatever the music is, even like relationship stuff, like, you know, not relationship. Well, yeah, relationship stuff, like hearing women say like, yo, I deal with other women. And it's like, I'm looking at this in the music and I was like, before this was said to be okay in the music, I didn't hear women talking like that. Even the whole adventurous thing of like exploring other women and all that, that was something that was introduced in the music. And girls going wild, but that's some white girl shit, the white girl shit. I don't know if black women was actually wild. I know what black men were, and they definitely was watching those commercials upstate. Niggas would just be up all night watching the girls going wild commercials on loop. Yeah, around like 2 in the morning, you just be watching girls go, hoping that they'll slip up the one time and show you the shit that they've been blacking out every night. Yo, jail's a horrible place, bro. It is a horrible place what it could do to a man's mind, a person's mind. Because the fastest growing jail population is women, black women at that. Make sure y'all mindful about that. A lot of the things that's going on with black men or have going on with black men in the 90s, it's a direct same thing going on with black women. Exactly. The exact same thing. From the music, with their following, the fighting, the pulling up, the getting high, all the aggressive, overly aggressive shit. Listening to that crazy wild ass music, Is it a conscious woman rapper? I mean, I know that might not necessarily mean anything because like conscious rappers are over-sex rappers to me now. They don't talk about anything political. They just talk about fucking because they got money now. When I listen to J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, they don't talk about, they went through the stage where they was trying to fight the power, so to speak. And then when they had to actually be called to task for talking like that and people wanted them to really press authority with the money and influence, they said, no, because I don't want to end up like Nip. So we ain't doing that. So now I'm going to just talk about, having sex and women and what the money do to me and all that type of stuff. We ain't going to talk conscious. And I'm going to tell you these things in very dope lyrics that's going to sound amazing. Because I'm still a lyrical cat. I still love hip hop in that way. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to somebody brought a point up to me. I'm still like on this Baldwin thing. I would love for people to go watch that interview. The thing that he said about once you control a man's sex, once you take away his sex, you ruin him. And it's a lot of different ways to look at that. But one of the things that I've been trying to like really, really dig into is there was no call for therapy after emancipation, which is not a real thing. It was just a transfer of ownership. Black people never got free. I know y'all believe that. Even with the civil rights. And that's the other thing. Oh, yeah. That's what I want to talk about. 2025, Project 2025. I didn't want to get too deep into it because it's not new. All the shit that's in there, they already been doing that shit. That shit never stopped. They been trying to dismantle the civil rights fucking shit. And the civil rights shit ain't even the shit. All that did was made slaves, citizens, kind of in their oppressive system that they were already in that brought them over here. And we're trying to become fully invested in our oppressor system. I know, y'all. Nobody wants to hear that shit. But I'm just saying, this system that y'all fighting for, this constitution and the presidency that y'all, Carmelita Harris, vote for Carmelita. Like, listen, man, I ain't, listen, vote, bro. Vote, because local politics can matter. It can matter if the person don't get in there and just start wilding and not giving a fuck about nothing that y'all voting. Because people be like, put pressure on them. Put what pressure on them? What pressure? You got independent lobbyists that's going to give them the money that we ain't giving them. And we don't got no voting blocks for real. Because for real, that's why I think that's why Malcolm was talking about that when he talked, about politics. Like, none of that other shit matter if you not a part of a voting block that's a voting block about black issues and black issues only. Black issues only. Can I get some black people to do some shit for black people only? In any arena. And the people who always acting like y'all are fucking allies, can you sit on the side and not say shit for a while? And just let these black people do what they gotta do with their own shit. Nah, you ain't gonna do that. You wanna handle the money, or you wanna be able to say something, or you just wanna be around. Just wanna be in the room. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I do wanna be in the room though. No, what we need all white folks doing that say that they allies, talk about this shit at home. When you go to your family reunion, talk about it. When you go to wherever just your people be at that look like you, talk about the shit that they doing to black people. No other people, not LGBT, not brown, not poor white, not Palestinian. Just straight black. Because black people got so many fucking issues, it's no room for nobody else. And all of this pairing up we be doing, the people get what they want and leave us right back where we at. So Project 2025 is not new. That's just something new for us to be talking about and acting like it's just happening. White folks been working against the fucking civil rights movement and utilizing it at the same time. White women, LGBTQ white folks. Because that's something else I gotta say. For folks to say that they are a marginalized community, all your flags are in gentrified areas. I'm just trying to understand that. Tell me. I have nothing against anybody, but I just want to know because people are our allies, right? So I should be able to say these things in this way and not feel like when I go places, I'm going to be attacked. So when I'm trying to find out as a black man that's in the streets of Philadelphia all the time, if we saying certain communities are marginalized like black folk, How come all of the things that represent them are in gentrified areas? I just want people to explain that to me. And how do you settle that when you go tell these same people you are marginalized like them? So either you live in a place where you have resources or you're supported by people who have resources. Black folk ain't getting that. They not getting it. And I just want to ask the question. Don't turn it into, oh, he hates this and that. I know. Don't try to play that game. Don't do that to me. But what I do want to know is your flags, all of the flags that represent that particular community in Philadelphia are in gentrified areas. I'm trying to resolve that amongst myself, being somebody who is actually marginalized from day one and never been anything other than that. Disenfranchised, subjugated, oppressed. Do you need more words? So me coming from that place with that history, I just want to, because that bothers me a little bit. Like, you're my ally and you want to be recognized in all the spaces I'm in as being oppressed like me, which is not true. It is not true. Don't turn me saying it's not true into hate neither. I know how people like to do that. But anyway, these things are real things. I walk through the city and that's what I see. And I just be wanting people to address it. Like, give me some insight on what am I seeing wrong? As a black man that live in these real marginalized areas and who really is marginalized, every part of me. So I don't have no problem with coalitions. I don't have no problem with fighting with folks. I'm African. We've been doing that since day one. The reason why we in this fucked up position because we let folks in. Out of love. I've been a humanist before they start playing with the word. So I just be wanting to know those things. I be wanting people to dig a little deeper into some stuff sometime to explain this because that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So the other thing before I get out of here, because I got a minute, is Project 25, yet again. All it's doing is trying to dismantle the civil rights bill, piece by piece. But they've been doing that. So don't let them play you and make you think that it's this added thing that's going on now that wasn't going on before. It's not. But what I'm going to tell y'all, and y'all not going to like it the same way I tell y'all I'll vote for Trump. So black people can understand these people don't fuck with y'all, and he's going to be on the pulpit telling you that every chance you get. I seen black people get more revolutionary under him than I ever seen in a long, long, long time. Because the orange man was offending you. Shut up. So anyway, the thing that I want is, yes, I like Project 2025. I love it. Because it's allowing black people to know you ain't going to get shit from the system. If we don't start doing this shit from the muscle independently, our own schools, our own restaurants, our own everything, because if we do it like that, we don't got to give a fuck about no Project 2025, no civil rights bill, and none of that shit. Because we got our own shit popping. And when this other shit fall down, we right at the door like, y'all can't come in here. We built our own shit because I know y'all coming. Oh, that's what y'all might be scared of. That's why y'all want to keep doing the systematic shit. Well, I'm going to get out on that. So listen, this is PSA, Philly Service Announcement, Takeover Tuesday, Takeover Love, Support, Great Social Activism, Resources, and Art. I am the assist. Shout out to the queen, Raw Cannon, all the cannons, all my family. I love all y'all. I love black people. That's what we doing out here.